the asshole for telling my child's daycare teacher that my child doesn't have to finish cleaning up? My 2-year-old daughter has been in a home daycare for a few months now. The teacher Sasha is very nice and I'm normally all for my daughter cleaning her own messes. However, when I arrive, Sasha expects my daughter to finish cleaning up whatever she was playing with, which would be fine, but it delays us getting out the door, heading home, and sometimes we have plans. I started texting Sasha beforehand, asking her to get my daughter ready, and that seemed to work. She'd be in a jacket and reading a book, which was easy to put away versus a huge project. Things were great until today. Things were crazy and I was in a rush and we had a lot to do this afternoon and I was running behind because I had car trouble. When I arrived, my daughter and some friends were in the middle of cleaning up a big mess. I told my daughter we had to go and to get her coat. That's when Sasha said she needed to finish cleaning up her part and I said any other day, sure, but I'm running late and we can't miss this appointment. Sasha tried arguing that kids need to learn responsibility and I flat out said no. Then I grabbed my daughter, put her coat on, and left. Now she's accusing me of undermining her authority and gave me a verbal warning. Would I be the asshole for not returning a $1,000 gift given to me by coworkers because they thought I was pregnant? On my last day at my old job, my coworkers left me a goodbye card with $1,000 cash in it. This was March 2020 and I moved a few hours away. Well, last week, March 2023, I saw a former coworker who patted my stomach. She asked if this was my second and I internally died because oh my gosh, she thinks I'm pregnant. I tell my coworker I don't have any kids and I'm just fat and she looks awkward and I feel awkward. Well, this morning I get a call from HR passing on a message from a different coworker asking for the money to be returned because it was meant as a maternity gift. They said it was a maternity gift for my baby and that me being fat and wearing shirts that emphasized my belly was deceptive. And that I tricked the coworker into thinking I was pregnant. Since she took the donations from the staff under that pretense, now everyone in the office is talking about it. HR said they can't force me to do anything, but it would be nice to return it. I no longer have the card, but I'm sure it didn't say anything about me being pregnant. I'm feeling both crushed and upset that it actually wasn't a going away gift and not once did any of my coworkers ask if I was pregnant. Am I the asshole for telling my cousin that she was showing too much skin? Last summer, my cousin Naomi, who was 19 at the time, and her parents were visiting my parents for the weekend. I, at the time 27 male, happened to come home on the Saturday while my cousin was still there. That afternoon, I walked into the visitor's bedroom to chill with Naomi and saw she was lying down on the bed facing the floor just surfing the web on her phone. She was wearing a very revealing tank top and basketball shorts and I could see her bra and basically her entire body. So I immediately noped out of the bedroom and she asked what was wrong, so I came back inside and discreetly told her I could see too much skin. She looked at me visibly weirded out and told me, dude, it's just skin. I replied back to her and things escalated a bit mildly and I ended up simply leaving her room. While I was leaving, Naomi threw a pillow at the door and later on we were called down for dinner. Naomi came down and I could tell that she had been crying, however, she was apparently feeling fine enough to remain dressed in her offending tank top and shorts. Ooh. When her parents and my parents asked what was wrong, she brushed it off and didn't tell them about the encounter. We still haven't made up and even when I texted her Merry Christmas, she said leave her alone. Am I the asshole for telling my brother that he didn't need to share that his wife was in labor in my wedding? So my wedding was days ago and my brother attended but his wife didn't because she was nearing her due date to give birth. The wedding was going great till my brother received a call from his mother-in-law telling him sister-in-law was in labor. He told me that he was leaving and my wife and I were fine with that, but the issue began after he told one of the guests sister-in-law was in labor. Word spread out and suddenly everybody was talking about it, which disrupted the event. Even my parents started calling and there was a huge fuss, which frankly was unnecessary if my brother just left in silence or made some excuse. I later contacted him and expressed my grief and frustration with what he did. I told him how the news of his wife being in labor disrupted the wedding and caused my wife to feel like her day was ruined. He lashed out asking how any of that was his fault and I explained he should have left or made up some excuse. He said he meant no harm and that he was just in a hurry and worried at the time. He said it wasn't like he announced it and told me I disrespected him by arguing with him about it in the first place. Our parents are siding with him and told me to get over myself and are now expecting me to apologize. Am I the asshole for letting my girlfriend do most of the household chores because she doesn't pay as much rent? I, 24 male, work for a very prominent company and get paid a lot better than my girlfriend, 23 female. We moved to a different state for my job, and she ended up with a very toxic work environment with a boss who's sexist and homophobic. She got a new one, but it doesn't pay as much, so she asked me to take on most of the rent. She's the only one who cleans the bathroom, the kitchen, sweep, mops, and vacuums, and other chores. I do dishes sometimes and also laundry. Things have been fine for 8 months, but recently the other day she asked me to vacuum the living room. I told her I didn't know where the vacuum was, and since then she's been saying I need to do more housework. But I feel like because I contribute more to the rent, she should be responsible for keeping the apartment clean. I've been doing more of the dishes since she brought it up, like maybe once a week instead of once every other week. She now leaves cleaning tasks for me to do, but doesn't even tell me they need to be done and gets mad and says I should know. Eventually though, she does it herself. She works the same amount of hours, but her job is less demanding and I'm so drained by the end of the day. She also pays for groceries and gas sometimes. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she can't move 1,000 miles away to live with her girlfriend? My daughter, 21 female Nicole, was very bright as a child and headed into college with a plan to get a master's at least. She became a bit withdrawn in teen years, and after her first year of college, she moved out from a relative's home and got her own apartment. After her second year of college, she told me and my husband she was dropping out and might return. She said she'd been incredibly stressed and depressed for years. Last fall, she got a job and was so happy, and I was glad but hoped she'd still return to college. I also learned that she was a lesbian and had flown 1,000 miles to meet her girlfriend. Mind you, she flew over 1,000 miles to see this girl she'd never met and only called and video chatted with. I was shocked and angry but told her I was happy that she was okay. Also, I'm happy she had a good time. This was months ago, and now she's saying she intends to move within the next year and a half, and maybe even sooner. I told her absolutely not, and they've only been together for a few months. All her family is here, me, her dad, her brother, and her 3 living grandparents. She said she's wanted to move away for years, and I'm being unreasonable asking her to stay, and that she hates it here and can't be herself. Am I the asshole for wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt to my first meeting with my girlfriend's parents? I, 28 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 23 female, for a few months. Things have been going well, and I really hope it works out. Anyway, she recently invited me to come over and have dinner with her parents at their home. She still lives with them, and we're getting more serious, and they wanted to meet me. If it's relevant, her parents are Indian immigrants to the US and I'm white. I thought it was a completely casual meeting and wore an Iron Maiden t-shirt. I do like the band, but it happened to be clean and that's just how I dress. I thought me and her parents had a good meeting, but my girlfriend was not happy. I thought we had a nice meeting, but my girlfriend was not happy with me. She feels as if me dressing in a t-shirt rather than a nice button-up shirt was bad enough. But wearing a t-shirt with skulls on it, in her words, was just obnoxious. I honestly just dressed for the meeting the way I usually do and didn't even think about it. I think if she had certain standards, she should have communicated them to me beforehand. But she thinks that what I did was obviously stupid and inappropriate and that I should have known better. Is she right, or is she being critical? Am I the asshole for ignoring my boyfriend after our vacation because he brought his brother along? I'm male 23, I'm a pharmacy student, and my boyfriend of 4 years, male 32, is a lawyer. Between the stress at school and the stress of his job, we barely see each other or have any intimate time. So we took a vacation where it would be about us regaining that lost intimacy. But day 2 of our vacation in Turks and Caicos, someone's knocking on our door. To my surprise and complete confusion, it's my boyfriend's brother, male 29. I ask what he's doing here, and he says my boyfriend invited him. My boyfriend looks sheepish but says it would be a good time to bond with his brother. I was furious but decided I could make it work. We had so many things pre-planned and prepaid, so I figured his brother couldn't come with us. Well, he didn't tag along because my boyfriend decided to go with his brother. Horseback riding was traded for wakeboarding, couple massages were traded for snorkeling, and getting a nice quiet table for 2 turned into getting a quiet table for 3. Intimate time in bed was also traded for a quickie in the shower so he could leave for golf, and I had it. On the next morning to leave, I said not a word to my boyfriend. Do you have the key card? Silence. Do you want me to carry bags? Silence. Am I the asshole for having a dry wedding and serving only water for drinks? My husband and I are getting married later this year, and each of our sides of the family are fairly big. It'll be 150 people, and my husband and I are paying for this ourselves, as well as my grandmother. We have a lot of kids in our family, so we decided against making it child-free, but we decided to make it dry. There will be no alcohol of any kind, and honestly, this doesn't have anything to do with there being kids, but because me and my fiance don't drink. On top of that, we really only drink water, and we rarely, if ever, drink soda, so most of the time, it's only water. Obviously, the food, which is a part my grandma is paying for, is going to be expensive for that many people. There will also be so many choices to choose from, but only water will be provided. We don't want to pay for alcohol or soda, and it's just a large added expense when we can do filtered water for a much cheaper cost. Well, when my family and friends found out, some of them got really angry. They said we could have at least had an open bar, or we should have at least had soda, because how can we expect everyone to drink only water? The kids will be upset and the wedding will be boring.